It was a Friday night, one of those still, hushed evenings where everything feels suspended in time. She sat across from me at the dinner table. The faint clatter of utensils on plates was the only sound between us. On the surface, everything seemed normal. But beneath that quiet, something was undeniably wrong. I couldn't name it then, but I felt it, an unease lodged deep in my chest. The atmosphere felt strained, like a frayed thread stretched too tight, one sharp tug from snapping. She let out a laugh at something on her phone, but it was hollow, missing the warmth that used to be there. She didn't see me watching her, but I saw everything. The way her fingers hovered over the screen just a little too long. The way her eyes darted up, wary, almost guilty, like she hoped I hadn't seen something she hadn't meant to show. My pulse quickened, but I buried the feeling. Told myself not to jump to conclusions. She was always working, always glued to that phone. Nothing new. But that night, the silence was too loud. Too heavy. Something inside me gave way. I didn't say anything, not a word. No confrontation, no accusations. I just stood up and walked away. The next morning, without a scene, I filed the papers. No fights, no questions. I packed up my life and moved to a new city. Cut all ties. Deleted her contact, erased every reminder of her from my world. And for the first time in years, I could breathe. I didn't need an explanation. I didn't care to hear what she had to say. The message I saw told me everything. She had made her decision, and I had made mine. The beginning was the hardest. Those early days were sharp with grief. I thought about her often, tried not to, but still did. She had been my whole world, the one I gave everything to. But as time went on, the ache dulled. My life became quiet, uncomplicated, peaceful in a way I hadn't known before. I threw myself into work, picked up hobbies I'd neglected. Slowly, I rediscovered parts of myself I thought I'd lost. A year passed, an entire year without a word from her. And one evening, walking home from work, there she was, standing just outside my building. She looked smaller somehow, worn down. Her posture slouched, her eyes, the same eyes I once adored, were heavy with remorse. "Hi," she said, her voice unsteady. "I've been looking for you." For a second, I thought I was dreaming. She didn't belong here. Not in this life I had rebuilt without her. I thought I had moved on. Maybe I had, but now she was here, rooted to the spot like she was hoping for something I couldn't give. I didn't respond right away. I just stared, trying to make sense of it. "Why now? After all this time?" "I need to talk to you," she said softly, barely above a whisper. "Please." I wanted to walk past her, to keep going, to leave her where she belonged, in the past. But instead, I stood there, caught in the moment, not quite ready to move either way. Something in me still held on, a small, quiet part that hadn't given up completely, that wondered if things could have turned out differently. That part made me pause. We ended up at a little cafe down the street, the kind we used to visit when love still lived between us, when everything felt easier. But now, it all seemed distant, unfamiliar. She looked out of place, like someone burdened by years of regret. "I made a mistake," she said softly, her voice barely carrying across the table. "I thought I could have everything, that I could live 2 lives. But I was wrong." I didn't respond. I let her speak, let her sit in the silence that followed each word, in the truth of what she was admitting. "I believed I could manage both," she continued. "But I couldn't. And now I've lost everything. I've lost you." Her eyes met mine, glassy with tears. I saw the regret, the sadness, but beneath that, something unexpected. Fear. Not just sorrow over the past, but fear that this was truly the end. That maybe she had gone too far to ever come back. "I don't deserve your forgiveness," she said, wiping her tears. "But I need you to know, I miss you. I miss what we had." For a brief moment, I wanted to believe her. Part of me even ached to reach out, to tell her we could try again. But I didn't, because deep down I knew better. "Why now?" I asked. My voice was even, but there was weight behind it. "Why after all this time?" She hesitated, holding her coffee cup like it could steady her. Because the life I chased, it didn't turn out like I thought it would, she admitted. I thought I could find something better. But I didn't. And I realized too late what I had with you. I listened. These were the words I'd once longed to hear. Words that, back then, I thought would mend everything. But they didn't. Not now. You made your decision, I said quietly. And I made mine. She winced, as if the words cut deeper than she expected. I know, she whispered. I know. But that was just it. She knew, yet she still didn't understand. She didn't understand that the damage couldn't be undone. That we had reached a place beyond repair. I'm not that man anymore, I said, rising from my seat. I'm not the person who'll let you come back after all of it. After the lies. After the hurt. I turned to leave, but she grabbed the edge of my sleeve, desperation in her voice. Please, she said. I've changed. I've grown. I looked at her one last time. She was no longer the woman I once gave my heart to, just a stranger, wearing the memories of someone I used to know. Take care of yourself, I said gently. But I won't be your second choice. I walked out of that cafe, out of her life, and this time, it was final. She hadn't returned because she still loved me. She came back because the future she'd traded me for had failed her. And that truth was something I had to face. She had chosen her path long ago. Now it was time I fully chose mine. As I walked away, there was no bitterness left. A full year had passed, and with each step, the heaviness I'd carried started to dissolve. It wasn't resentment that guided me anymore, it was understanding. She no longer had the power to break me. I had found peace not by holding on, but by finally letting go. I didn't walk away because I hated her. I walked away because I'd finally remembered how to care for myself. And sometimes, that's the only kind of forgiveness we truly need.